for the RBAC stuff. So RBAC stands for role-based access control. It's a way of defining like who can do what, basically, but using an intermediary that is the role. So user have roles, and roles have permissions, and then the permissions are set by the actual application. So Meltano will define the permissions as we go forward, and then people can just mix and match the permission on the roles and the roles to the users. That's grosso modo. So in Meltano, we want everything to be source controlled and versioned. So we have quite a different spin on RBAC. So most of the application you're going to see RBAC in, you basically create users in one way of another, and you have this kind of UI where you map the users to the roles, and you can set permissions on roles. It's pretty. It's never like that great of a UX because it's pretty hard to do. It's like a matrix, right? So it's hard to do right. In Meltano, we don't want this to live like in a database, because then it's opaque. You don't know like if a user has access or not, or like you have to create audit on top of that. So what the approach we decided to go is using like a file, like we're using a file for models. We're using files for tables and columns. So why not use a file for permissions, so that it's version control, it's like auditable, and it just like fits the Meltano way, right? So on the left side right here, you have the first iteration of this file. So I've tried to optimize the file in the sense like optimize for writing and not for like parsing. So it's very much like I tried to make it like as like easy and comprehensible as possible. I have also documented it in the EMR. Like we have a literate version of this file where everything is commented. So it starts by the roles namespace, and then you can define roles. This is Alcon again, so we're staying on the same format for every file we're creating. So you have the role name. In this case, it's admin, and then I can map to username. So like say I want admin to be part of this role. And then you can define the ACL. So ACL stands for access control list. And then basically you just list like the permission and like the context of each permission. So that means this user, any admin can view the dashboard region, any reports in any dashboard. It can create any report, and it can delete any report in any dashboards. So these are like, there's no permission right now like implemented in Meltano. So this is very much like the building blocks of RBAC. But the main thing here is mapping this file to the actual logged user and dynamically like updating it and these kind of things. So the other role I have right here is regular. So you have a regular user. It can view anything, but like doesn't have create or delete roles access. So you cannot do that. So let me just log in with my admin user. So I don't have any like any screen to map these things. Like you basically just edit the file and just gonna automatically maps it. So I'm just gonna log in as an admin. On the left side right here, I'm just gonna like go at, I don't know, I'm just gonna sync. I should have right here, I have a request as admin, and then I mapped admin to it because that's the username, right? Let me just log in as regular now, just to show you that, like, I'm just gonna log out. I'm gonna regular. These are standard users that we create like from scratch. So same thing, I see as regular and regular. So that's the actual role. So let me add regular as an admin, right? So I'm in, all right. So this should be recompiled. Now, if I just like sync, I see that regular is now an admin too. like it's automatic. You don't have to do anything. Just like you save the file and the thing just like compiles and you're good to go. Now I'm regular. So a thing that the regular user cannot do right now is drop the database. So it's going to be unauthorized to do that. If I add it to the admin though, and I just drop, let's see, regular, database reset. So now I have access. And this has nothing to do with the database itself. So we like, there's no, it's totally a file and it stays like that. It's, so that's that.
Do the users get deleted when you drop the database?
These are seed users. So
oh, okay.
Yeah, they're seeded, so they're reseeded. But yes, normally every user, I can create a user if you want to see. Like,
I was just curious.
Yeah, I can create a new user like test@test.com, like gchats.
I believe that works.
All right, so yeah, I create a user, and then it's mapped by username. So a next, like an iteration path right here, because we don't control like the usernames, and you don't want people to hijack. There might be like some kind of, I don't know, email validation that you could do right here to make sure that this match like both the username and the email. So you're sure that the person that you put there is the correct person. But I'm not too sure yet. So we still have to figure this out. So that's that for our back. I'm going to start sharing.
Claudia, did you design this, or who did the UX for this?
The login, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we're doing is, so we got the stuff that Claudia's working on, and she's catching up with the stuff that we're doing. So we're just doing initial implementation while Claudia catches up.
Okay. So, Mikael, when you're saying, "Hey, we're not doing this the traditional way," that should be kind of a big red flag. Like, at that point, you should stop. You should probably go to Claudia, or make it a subject in the meeting, weekly meeting. Like we still have the GitLab values of boring solutions.
Yeah, let me
to go answer first. I don't think it's good to have them in a Git file, and I'll elaborate a bit. It's not the boring solution that's on the 27. We've actually been here. We've run GitLab with GitOlite, which had all the administration of users under in one Git repo, where you had all the repositories and all the permissions that every user had on every Git repo. And a not so relevant for us thing is it doesn't scale. That doesn't matter because we're not scaling anyway, so we can delay that. Which is just to remind you what a hassle it is. If you got 10,000 users, and that's not unfathomable, right? We want Meltano to be to have all the dashboards for a company. You get stuck with a Git repo where you can only write like every half second, because writing a Git thing takes time. And people like had to do crazy things, like people, when SSD was just a thing, they bought special SSD disks just to write enough to the Git repo, because there was just this huge queue of users. And that's not a very good reason to do it now, because we can do things that don't scale. We'll just fix them later.
Yes.
I think much more important, and I put it on a 28, Meltano should be usable without Git. So Git is a very hard technology to understand for people. 80% of our prospective users will not have used Git before. So in order to give them permissions, having to go into a file and commit that to Git is going to really hurt our adoption. It's way too hard.
They don't have to commit it to Git, though, do they? They just have to create the file. But I understand what you're saying with the file. I'm just saying,
I also...
How does the file, like, sorry, I don't understand. If you have the file, you're going to go into the server or something? Like, how are you going to edit that?
No, right. So like in production, it should be like either from Git or like, yes. So,
yeah, so Jacob, do you agree that they have to use Git in production, or am I confused?
Well, they would have to use Git in production anyway because of the M50 files
With the M50 files, you can create to the interface, right?
Not right now.
What's that? The M50 files, what?
There's a whole bunch of M50 files, so I think we should get more specific, but some of them you can just create to the interface.
Not yet. But yes, you will be able to.
You will be able to. And for this one, I don't see the big benefit. Like auditing in Git is impractical. Like giving someone else access to a dashboard should just be, they should be able to request it. You should be able to give it to them. Like you request access to a Gmail doc. You shouldn't have to go into a 10,000 line file to make an edit. That is super user unfriendly, I think.
No, I agree with that 100%. My thought was that it would be, the file would contain, just the same way that the M50 files contain the information for the user interface, it would be RBAC that contains information for the user interface to then show a user interface. And you would do everything to the user interface anyway. It's just that it'd be saving to a file, which would keep version controlled. But I understand you're saying not good to have that version controlled.
Yeah, and I think version control is for collaboration. So version control is, the great thing of Git is that you can make a proposal and then have someone else accept the proposal. That's great if you want to change it. Make a suggestion for a dashboard that the whole company is viewing. That's awesome. If you just want to give someone access to something, you shouldn't have to like ask permissions. That is super cumbersome. So for giving permissions, it's a one-step process, not a two-step process.
Okay.
So it doesn't add anything to view a diff. Like viewing a diff can make sense if you have to place a permission in context, but just, hey, this user wants access. It doesn't help to see it in a diff with all the other users that have access. It doesn't give me any more information. So it's a super cumbersome step, but it's not adding any value. It's not helping me to make a proposal without having the rights to implement it, and it's not helping me to see a permission change in context. So we're going overboard here, and that's I'm waving at like, hey, can we please get to the boring solution here? And we shouldn't. There's I get it, like GitOps and all these things have everything in version control. I'm a big proponent of it, but for this, I don't think it's helpful. And I think we should just do it the boring way.
So we'll do the Flash security stuff with through the SQLite database, just like we're doing the users, and that'll be the end of it.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna have to build. Like any front end stuff to handle the assignment of roles and the thing. So just keep in mind that.
We'll follow the same procedure that we're following for the other, like the dashboards has a front end and all that stuff. So we'll do the same thing there.
Sure, nice.
Cool. And we just, it's not going to be in a file. It's just going to be in the database.
Yes.
Cool.
And Derek, do you want to show the dashboards?
So just kind of a small recap. We have dashboards and reports now working. There were a few small bugs, so those were fixed, but the kind of core new feature here is being able to deep link. So basically being able, and that's what this little button is right here. We'll fix what the UI of that actually is. But the idea is that you can actually share a URL and go straight to a specific dashboard or straight to a specific report. So dashboards, I can click it, goes to dashboard A. It obviously knows which reports are associated with it, and then makes the additional call to get those reports. So that's kind of the gist there. And then with
sorry, why is it a star? Why can't they just click A? Because I don't understand.
Yeah, it's total placeholder.
Okay.
So if you click A, it selects the file and views it in that file view.
Yeah. So
and star is the output.
It's like go there,
file itself, and then this would be the icon to kind of launch it.
Claudia's probably going to have a look at this, right?
Claudia has designed it, and that's what Derek's working on this week is to do the.
Yeah. Cool. So just to reiterate, it was like pure functionality, and then UI UX is the next piece here. So then same thing with reports, and you can see up here in the URL we have analyze carbon region reports, report A1. It might
Beautiful
be a little
URL.
What's that?
Beautiful URL. Looks nice.
Yeah, so that was thanks to Mikhail on the suggestion of a slug as opposed to kind of like the ID, which you kind of see sometimes, which is
Yes.
very
Thank you, Miguel.
so. Yeah, and then obviously what's kind of nice about this is being able to go straight to a report. Naturally, you can see it right away, but also everything's pre-selected and everything you would have expected had you done it from scratch, and then you could again change one thing and then save that, right? So as opposed to have to manually go through the process of matching it, you just kind of get that matching for free. So yeah, that's basically the two pieces. So bug fixes and then the core deep linking. So.
Cool. After we're done, Claudia, can you present your design? And Derek, can you show an actual graph, or are they still broken? Because I didn't see lines in any of them.
Yes. So yeah, I could switch branches real quick to show that if you'd like.
Awesome.
There's a MR for that right now.
If it's
the only
easy
thing
to
holding that
switch
up is a
branches.
test, an actual test for it and actually being merged. So.
I think they were broken last week too. So right now, if someone downloads Meltano, they're going to have a bad experience. I think we should be slightly better about kind of fixing regressions.
Yeah,
because now it's been broken for almost 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, that's my bad for sure.
The graphs for joins will be changing because they need to be stacked graphs, which I don't think they currently are. So I don't think we're actually graphing joins properly yet.
But we want to, Jacob, you will want to make sure that we have more monthly active users, and by having a totally non-functioning product, that's not helping.
Yep.
So we shouldn't have people work on new stuff while the existing stuff is being broken for a week plus. Like I can accept it It's okay for a couple of days. Like I don't want people to context switch too much, but we shouldn't treat this as a development product. We should treat this as iteration. And iteration means you get to a stable phase every time. Iteration doesn't mean you just go off and then come back after 3 months. We're getting hundreds of downloads every week, and all those people are now, this is a broken product.
Yep.
And that's not okay.
Absolutely. Let's get the graphs in today, and we'll get the dashboards, all that stuff in today. I think that's
on me. I was focusing on the dashboards report stuff. So.
Well, it's
me too.
It's also we're missing Virginia. We have her now, and she'll say, hey, there's a regression. We should fix that first. So we're having trouble prioritizing without.
Did you see the graphs there, Sid?
Yep, I saw them. Cool.
Okay. Do you want to see Claudia's designs for the?
Yes, please, if Claudia is up for that.
Yeah, I shared them last week, Sid, but I'll go ahead and share them again.
Oh yeah, sorry, I might have not remembered from last week.
That's fine.
Or was it not in our meeting?
I don't remember, but here we go. So
this for sure.
It could have been a different one. But here,
go ahead.
I updated the left column, and then I created a prototype of how you can save a untitled report. So this was if I select anything on the left column, and then I can run the query, and then I can untitle this report. I can then send it to I can resave it if I make any changes, and then I can send it to a new dashboard. Can name it, and then I get a pop-up to check out the dashboard. And then I can delete it. But I don't think deleting it from the dashboard view is in V1. So, but I can expand it. So if I wanted to expand this whole view or individual reports, that was my initial take on expanding it.
Cool. And if we go to the analysis one, it says likes and posts. Is that like rows and columns or something?
Likes and posts. So I I created a Facebook example for myself so that I can understand it. And so this is the name.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, okay. So it's,
These are tables.
yes, they're tables.
Okay, makes sense.
And that's all I have in this prototype.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the demos for right now. And then we'll have the designs that Claudia put together for the dashboards. Derek's going to work on implementing those this week, so it should look nice and it should look really good next week. And then, of course, we're going to make sure that that any of the regressions are fixed. And we had another contributor this morning that contributed some stuff to the docs.
Cool. Let's see. So I want to share 22 in the agenda. So from now on, we'll be focusing on Maui. And apart from being a tropical island paradise, it's the monthly active users on our UI. And we're going to try to grow that by 20% every 2 weeks. And this should link to a report. So at the top of our doc, we should probably have a list of how much there. Hey, this was going to be linked. Who would do that again? Jacob, was that you? Did we decide that in the metrics meeting?
That the
you would link these to the relevant Google Analytics pages?
Yeah, I can do that. That means that certain people won't be able to see them, right? Like
well, right now, 0 people can click them, right?
Correct. I'll link them to the Google Analytics page then.
Did we agree that, or am I mistaken?
I have to look in the documentation. I have to look in our metrics meeting. You probably said that. I just.
And then we should, can you show them, can you find them and can you show them now?
Yes. And I'll add everybody on this team to the analytics as well.
Cool, please do.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen to show the analytics. So here's Google Analytics. We have 3, oops. Why does it do that?
So we have very little time. Can you just show the Maui so we have a number there? And then you can use any of your other calls with the team to display the rest.
That's not, for some reason it's not showing the other accounts here. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
It's like they disappeared. I think I need to probably sign in as the other.
Yeah, you need to sign by Cello at Meltano.
Okay, there we go.
So for a bit of context for everyone, you need a goal as a company. Do you know what the goal for GitLab is? GitLab, the product, and the company?
I would say, isn't it like triple ACV every year?
Yep. It's double, but yes, double, IACV. Yeah. That's the goal.
I know it. You're right.
Very good. The idea is that we also need a goal with Meltano, and we need a single goal that we should all be focused so that we can take decisions. Are we going to do A or B? And we'll do something that has an effect in 2 weeks. So what has the biggest effect in 2 weeks of raising a number? And it feels very unfair because it feels very short term, but it's actually, that is what helps you make decisions. We did it during YC, and it was very painful at first. We were going to do things that increased our downloads by 20% every 2 weeks. We had like hundreds of thousands of downloads. So we're like, we can never do something that moves that number. Guess what? We could. And afterwards, when we started monetizing during YC, we moved it to revenue. increase revenue by 20% in 2 weeks. Feels very unfair. Guess what? We were able to. So we're gonna start measuring, and we're gonna start making decisions that, oh, Janus, are you gonna work on that? Well, how much is it gonna move monthly downloads? And I'm like, well, don't know, but probably nothing. Well, probably you shouldn't be working on it. So you have a lot more of us working on blog posts, working on documentation, working on making sure the product actually works. Because that's totally missing now. Right now, it's a hobby research project, which is fine. Like, we needed that to get where we are now, but we're getting to a point where next week, if we have the hyperdimensional aggregates, it's kind of, okay, we know what we're doing, but we need a North Star. So what are the MAUIs now, Jacob?
So you have, for the actual user interface, for the month, you have 48 page views.
For the month, I need it for 2 weeks or by week. I can live by week. Let's do it week by week. Let's do 10% by week.
Okay, hold on. Week. I think it might be 0. Oh no, it's 48.
Yeah, because like the actual metrics came in like
until,
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, is it a week? It seems more.
Let's click tweak. Let's see.
Yeah,
I think you just select a week.
Yeah, you have a custom date range.
Yeah, I know, but I clicked tweak.
No, that doesn't help. So you should select from Sunday till Saturday for last week.
You have to change the date range, Jacob.
Yeah. There we go. Set Friday, Saturday.
So Sunday to Saturday.
Oh, hold on.
Wow, the UX seems good.
Sunday to Saturday. Got it. Okay. There we go.
Click apply. Yeah.
So
37.
37. Cool. So next week, this should be 10% higher.
41.
So should be 40. That's our goal.
Okay. And do we have, do we have specific things that we're doing to?
Unbreaking the product would be nice, and then send out a tweet that it actually works again.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah, Jacob, I'd like to have a chat about social media strategy then, maybe with Virginia too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool. Ben, you have some things are marked done. Ben, thanks for that, 21, but I didn't see them come by during the week. Is that correct, or did you ping me about them?
Yeah, so I think since they were just headings, I think I had Jacob push them into production. I think Friday yours pretty booked. But since I'm going to answer them this week, I have Sherry already scheduled a meeting for us next week. And you'll see some more substantial doc changes in MRs this week as far as like the CLI standardization and those sort of things.
Sure. Well, it's not that you need my permission. I don't want to use this meeting to review them.
Yeah, agreed.
I just want to see them. So you don't have to ask for my permission. I just want to know that it changed, so I don't need this meeting to review them.
You got it. I'll make sure to Slack them too.
Can you make sure that everything that's labeled Ben happens this week? Do you have time for that?
Yep, cool. I'll make sure they're done.
Virginia, can you pair with Ben on each one of them? So make sure that Ben invites you and just shares his screen while he's making every change, because I think, well, my assumption is that Virginia is going to be responsible for not the documentation of a new feature. The developers are responsible for kind of this refactoring and improvements we're doing. Does that make sense, or is Ben going to keep being responsible?
No, I think Virginia would be great to get Virginia in the loop, because that's product.
Yeah, so Ben, invite Virginia and make sure you plan like when in the day you're going to do it, and then just have her watch along and ask questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. We're going a bit fast because we're running out of time. Any concerns? Anything? Everyone knows what they're going to work on this week, etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have Emily von Hoffman, who's helping me with the Twitter stuff as well. So she's been helping me find things to tweet. So we're going to work on that together then. And Ben.
Yeah, that might be something you want to pair with Virginia on too.
Yes.
Because she will know like what features are ready and how to present them and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for the honesty on the role-based stuff. If it's bad, it's bad. So
yeah, it's not bad. It's just been there, done that.
yeah,
And so I can totally see us doing that. And you what you made works, and no one gave you the designs, and we didn't discuss it, so you didn't do anything wrong. It's just we get some. I've lived this future with GitLab, and we have some inside information. But
yeah, right.
So
right.
I think I'll talk with Claudia and Virginia, and we can talk about the designs for those pages as well, and the user interface for those pages, because that needs to be done.
Yeah, I think Michael has an idea. He can just start because he has an idea. It should be the same as every other boring app.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.